Majority Leader Aden Duale is here with us, and we will talk more about some of those statements, but also generally on the war on corruption and where we stand as a country. Now, the debate on whether Kenyans in the diaspora will vote in the 2017 elections has been ongoing for a long time. Now, despite a court order ruling that Kenyans in the diaspora must be allowed to vote, it remains unclear if that will happen at all. Tonight on SpotLight 2017, our reporter Murimi Mwangi delves into what is at stake in the diaspora vote and interrogates the practicability of Kenyans abroad voting in next year's polls.
The clamor for Kenyans in the diaspora to actively participate in the country's democratic processes has been a long and strenuous one that fiercely gained momentum in the run-up to the 2010 constitution referendum, culminating in protracted court battles.
If you saw the last election, Uhuru was declared president because of a difference of 8,000 votes. The question is, what about 3 million?
The main reason why the two major coalitions are not concerned about diaspora voting is because neither of them is sure they have a majority of those voters. Because you can't also buy the diaspora voters with 50 bob, 20 bob. Perhaps that's the main true reason why we are not supporting diaspora voting.
In June last year, the Supreme Court reaffirmed a decision of the Court of Appeal directing the country's electoral agency, IEBC, to undertake a progressive registration of Kenyans in the diaspora ahead of the 2017 polls. But with only 253 days to the August 8th elections and with the IEBC yet to get new commissioners, will the IEBC still manage to register Kenyans in the diaspora?
It is not tenable. You can see the corruption that is going on. Where will they get that money? Where will they get that money from? Let us talk of things that are applicable, not things that will make us buy time and people start running here and there saying the votes have been stolen.
I think it's times that Kenyans realize the constitution, the new constitution, the preamble talks of the power being to the people. It's not the power with the elites. And the people include the diaspora. So it's our inalienable. Like any other Kenyans, we need to be facilitated to vote. We're looking at the proposals that have been made.
The diaspora registration, which was slated for February, March, might have to be brought forward as early as January this year, if we have to fit within that particular time frame.
The number of Kenyans in the diaspora eligible to vote in 2017 is estimated at 3 million. Of these, the Diaspora Alliance is targeting about 1 million. This even as the IEBC directed that only countries with at least 3,000 Kenyans eligible to vote will be included in the diaspora plans. But even then, Kenyans in the diaspora will only participate in the presidential elections. However, this will only happen if the IEBC gets its full 40 billion shillings budget, of which 130 million has been set aside for the registration of voters in the diaspora. Some analysts are skeptical about the figure, citing the budgetary constraints that the IEBC has been facing in the past.
On the diaspora budget, I don't think we're going to change much with respect to that, because we had already planned for it. But the overall changes to the budget is with respect to the process of registration and verification of the register, and also the increase in the number of polling stations.
Diaspora themselves may not even mind chipping in. We have indicated officially to IBC. There's some of our members who have said we'll avail our resources to assist IBC. If vehicles are required, we'll avail, maybe even on terms that are lower than what they would hire them for back at home. So we need to see the figures. There are options of making the voting system, the logistics and all that more cost effective.
Good job. Another headache likely to be nagging the IEBC is the different time zones. Polling stations open at 6 a.m. Kenyan time, and the IEBC insists that the Kenyan timing has to be strictly adhered to, even for Kenyans in the diaspora. That would mean that a polling station, say at the Kenyan embassy in Washington, D.C., would have to open at 10 p.m., while Kenyans in London would have to go to the polls at 3 in the morning.
Let us do things which are practical. Let us not just say things for the sake of saying. Let us say things which are applicable, which are practical, things that can be attainable.
How come other countries are already doing it? Kenya even did voting elections here for South Sudan during the referendum. So how come those other countries are able to do it in our country and we are giving excuses?
What we have to do is to have some sense of agility to adjust to the new situation and move forward. As the Commission is doing that, we also expect that other stakeholders are going to adjust to that new reality so that we, as early as January this year, we are all on the same page in terms of how we want to run the next election.
Well, the courts have given the IEBC the go-ahead to register Kenyans in the diaspora. The practicability of their participation in the 2017 polls will largely be determined by availability of funds, including IEBC's ambitious overall budget of over 40 billion shillings. Murimi Mwangi, KTN News in Nairobi.